Hi, virtual yogis. My name is Jana. I am a 500-hour plus certified yoga instructor based out of Denver, Colorado. I've been teaching for about 13 years. So happy to have you here with me today. So I had a request from my brother who lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He had noticed that I have a lot of hour-long videos, a few 20-minute videos up, and he requested something in between. So OBKB, this flow is for you. This is going to be about a 40-minute well-rounded flow. If you do have props available, I recommend having them handy. If you don't worry about it, but maybe consider getting yourself some. They're a really nice asset to your yoga practice. All right, without further ado, let's come into a comfortable seat. So Sukhasana, as you can see, I'm seated up on a blanket here. That's really nice if you tend to be tighter in your hips. If it's hard for you to sit tall, if you round in a lot, and we've all been at Zoom a lot this past pandemic year, give yourself a little height. That might even mean like a thick cushion. So a good indication that you need a little proppage underneath your booty is that your knees are lifted really high. All right, and let's start with our right shin crossed in front of our left shin. Can gently flex the feet a little bit here. Just find a place for your hands to rest. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Oh, do that again. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, sigh out any tension, any stress, the to-do list, all of the stuff just clanking around in the mind. Let it go. One more time. And then just coming into a place of stillness, starting to hook up your Ujjayi breath. So if you're newer to that, we inhale through our nose. You start to constrict the sides of your throat a little bit. So there's a sound like ocean waves. And then you also exhale through your nose with that constricted sensation. And this sound should be audible to you. If you're practicing next to somebody, they could probably hear it as well. It's not forced. This breath is really nice. It helps to create a little heat inside the body, which is great as we start to move into more challenging poses. Perhaps more important though, it gives us something to focus our attention on. So really just bring your senses to that sound of the breath, that steadiness of it. And that being said, attention is going to wander. That's all right. Be distracted by sounds happening in the room around you. You'll especially be distracted by the chatter happening in your brain if you're anything like me. Let it go when you recognize that you've kind of time traveled a little bit. Come back to your breath, even if you have to do this 1,000 times. And then finally, just make sure that there's not any tension in your body that doesn't need to be there. So there is some effort to sit like this, but are you gripping the groins a little more than you need to? Are your shoulders creeping up around your ears? Soften them down. Are you clenching your jaw? Are you squinting your eyes? Soften in those places. Good, and then we're going to blink our eyes open. As you inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. As you exhale, release them forward. We're going to interlace our fingers. Just check to see what thumb and index is on top. Press your palms forward. Feel your inner arms wrap towards your outer arms. Try to widen across the backs of your shoulders. And we're going to find a little cat-cow here. So as you inhale, lift arms that might not be very high. Rock forward on your sit bones, arch in your lumbar. As you exhale, rock back. Pull your belly button towards the back ribs. Arms release down, chin releases towards chest. Inhale, coming into that cow pose. Exhale, round in. Good, inhale up here. As we exhale, we're going to take a little side bend to the right. Ooh, feels so good. Inhale up to center. As you exhale, side bend to the left. Good, inhale up to center. Exhale, release your arms out to the side. Start to twist to the right. And then take left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Right fingertips are behind you. You're gently pressing your shoulder heads back. Again, sitting nice and tall here. And then maybe you start to play with your gaze. So you might start to look out over that right shoulder. Don't forget to inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Stay in your twist. Just bring your gaze out over that left shoulder. Inhale, little side bend, right arm comes up and over. Good, and then release that hand, right hand to your left thigh. So we kind of have like eagle arms here, shoulders or elbows are stacking on top of each other. I'm gonna do a little cat-cow here. So exhale, round in, let the back of the neck lengthen. Inhale, little extension. Good, exhale, round in. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, round in. Hold here. It's this funky little forward fold. Can really press, kind of like squeeze your thighs in towards each other with your hands. That might intensify the stretch across the backs of the shoulders. Inhale, come on up. Extend legs to straight. Give them a little shake. We recross with the left shin in front. This side might feel entirely different. So if it's a little tighter for you, which is not uncommon on one side, sit up on something. Give yourself a little more height. Flex the feet gently. Make sure shoulders are stacking over your sit bones. Close your eyes. Drop into that quiet space. And maybe it's not so quiet today. That's okay. Do the best that you can. This need not look perfect. We practice this so we get better at it. Maybe for you today, it just feels really good to come here, to give yourself permission to do that. So soak that up. Savor that sound, that rhythm of your breath, and that feeling of the breath in your body as you inhale and exhale. We're going to take a nice deep inhale. Good, exhale, blink your eyes open. Inhale, take up space, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, release them forward. Interlace fingers a way that feels funny. So the opposite thumb and index. Press palms forward, squeeze the outer shoulders in towards each other. Inner arm wraps towards outer arm. Good, and then a little cat-cow here. So as we inhale, rock forward on your sit bones, lift arms any amount. If you're tighter, it's going to be harder to do that. As you exhale, rock back on your sit bones. Find that cat stretch. So getting into the thoracic, upper spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round in. Good, inhale, come up to a nice tall spine. As we exhale, we side bend to the left, root into that right sit bone. Inhale up to center. Exhale, side bend to the right, root into your left sit bone. Inhale up to center. Exhale, release hands, start to twist to the left. Release your left fingertips behind you, right hand comes to that right thigh. You can just gently press back. So you feel your shoulder heads press back. Feel your sternum lift up towards the ceiling. Spine is nice and long here. Maybe you start to bring your gaze out over that left shoulder. Only do that if it feels okay in your neck. If there's a lot of tension in your neck today for whatever reason, just go to the place that you feel okay. Good, nice deep inhale. As you exhale, start to look out over that right shoulder. Good, inhale, little side bend. Good, and then we're gonna release this left hand down to the right thigh. Inhale, find that arch. Little funky cat-cow, elbow stacking. Exhale, round. Let the back of your neck release. Inhale, arch. Good, exhale. Round in. One more inhale. Good, as you exhale, just round in here. So rounded back, forward fold. You can kind of squeeze the legs with your hands. Notice how that changes where you're feeling the stretch in your neck across the backs of your shoulders. Inhale, come on up. Good. So let's make our way to our tabletop for classic cat-cow here. You can move your props out of the way. So landing with your shoulders over your wrists, you're going to spread the fingers a little bit, press evenly, and then just make sure that your knees are underneath your hips. Feel the lower belly pull in and up. Keep your gaze an inch or two in front of your fingertips. Inhale, arch into your lumbar. It feels like your chest is going to pull forward through the gates of your shoulders. As you exhale, press the mat away, round in. Inhale, arch. Good, exhale, rounded, maybe really firm into the tops of your feet as you do this. And then close your eyes if they're not already. Take a few rounds of just moving with your breath. So you're finding a pace that's not too fast, it's not too slow, it can be different than mine. Just finding that Goldilocks place, that just right place. Good, let's inhale, come back to neutral spine. So we're gonna reach our right toes back, curl them under, firm that thigh up, and then keep your gaze forward here, reach your left toes back, fire that thigh up. So we're in our plank pose. So what happens here sometimes is we drop the hips towards the mat, we get this big stretch in our lumbar that doesn't feel good. The other thing is we cheat it by putting our buns up towards the ceiling. So make sure you're right in the center. Feel your forearms squeeze in towards each other. Use the legs a little more than you think you can. And then we're gonna lower to our knees here. Shift forward a little bit as you exhale, elbows bend an inch. They're squeezing in. Lower another inch, still squeezing in. Shoulder heads lifting. Lower, no more than shoulders in line with elbows. And then land in one piece on your belly. Good. Uncurl your toes so the tops of the feet are pressing down into the mat. Pressing into all 10 toenails. So a couple of options here. If you're a little tighter in your shoulders, you're just gonna take your arms by your side, palms face in. Otherwise, if you're able to interlace your fingers at the small of the back, you can do that. Gonna land on our head. So anchor into feet. Feel those glutes fire up. Feel the pubic bone and the hip bones press down. Keep all of that anchoring as you inhale. You're either reaching your fingertips towards your heels or dragging your knuckles towards your heels. Head and chest extend forward and up. Resist the urge to throw your head back here. So neck is just nice and long. You're gazing in front of you. If you're hyper flexible in your elbows, I tend to be that way. A little bend, it's going to actually give you a deeper stretch. As you exhale, release down. Change the interlacing of your fingers. If your arms are by your side, just stay there. This time, as we inhale, everything lifts up. So you think extension forward, and then it's like those legs are extending backwards, trying to lift evenly in the front of the body and the back of the body. One is going to feel easier. Just notice what that is. Breath smooth and steady. Oh, I know this is such an intense pose, especially if you're newer to yoga. Oh, I remember being new, these killed me. It does get easier and it builds so much strength in your spine, especially the back side there. As you exhale, lower down. We're gonna bring our fingertips underneath our shoulder heads. So let your elbows wing out. And as you do that, notice how your shoulder heads start to dip down towards the floor. We don't want that. We want them lifted, that open feeling. So squeeze the elbows in. It feels a little weird to do that. It'll get easier. All right. And then just the same thing. So you're using our back muscles to help lift us up. We don't press into our hands at all here. Inhale, extend forward, Bhujangasana, low cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up. Good. Exhale, lower. One more, inhale up. And then curl your toes under, fire up the legs. So knees, shins, thighs are lifting up. From here, press back to your downward facing dog. So first dog of the day. Can always feel really nice to find a little movement. Pedal back and forth, shift hips side to side. So whatever you need here. It might just feel better to be in a place of stillness. So that's always a great place to be as well. And eventually we're all going to meet in that place of stillness. Peek forward between your hands. Make sure arms or shoulders distance apart. Again, fingers spreading, pressing evenly. Then it feels like you're squeezing your forearms in towards each other. That's going to activate the upper arm. So your inner arm is going to wrap towards your outer arm. And then start to release your ears in line with your biceps. So you're gazing between your feet behind you. The back of the neck is nice and long. Feet should be about hips distance apart, second and third toe pointing forward. Little bend in your knees if you're tight in your hamstrings. It's going to actually allow you to stretch those sit bones up towards the ceiling a little more, getting more length in your spine and through the backs of your legs. Good. So let's start to walk our feet forward to meet our hands. And then a little standing cobra here. So fingertips can be on the floor or hands on shins or thighs is really nice. Inhale, lengthen through the sides of your waist, gaze forward. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, lengthen, feel your shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other, elbows squeeze in. Exhale, lower. It's just like cobra on our belly. Inhale, lengthen. Good, exhale, lower in. Good, inhale, press into your feet. Stretch your arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at heart center. Just take a moment here. So in Tadasana, feet about hips distance apart is usually really nice for most of us. Second and third toe pointing forward again. You're welcome to stand with feet a little closer if you feel balanced there. Notice if you start to puff the ribs forward and the booty back. Lengthen the tailbone down. Lift through the sides of the waist so you have this nice, long, elegant stance. And we're going to start to flow here. As you inhale, arms reach out and up. So coming into our half sun salutes. Exhale, hinge forward at your waist. Maybe take a bend in your knees, especially if those hamstrings are tight in your body. Inhale, fingertips on floor, hands on shins or thighs. Chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. As you exhale, fold back in. Pressing down into your feet. Stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Couple more. Inhaling, reaching Utthita Hastasana into Tadasana, extended mountain. Exhale, fold in Uttanasana, deep forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Good, back into our Uttanasana. Inhale, pressing down into your feet. Stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Good, inhale, reach. Let this feel so good. Exhale, fold in. Just kind of like breathe all tension out of your body. Enjoy how it feels to move. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good, pressing down. Stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So we're going to add on. If you do have blocks, just have them at the top of your mat. You may or may not need them. They can be nice. We move this blanket out of the way. All right. So let's inhale, stretch our arms up here. And let's interlace our fingers again. Press the palms up. As you exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale up to center. Good. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale. Good. Release hands as you exhale. Fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot way back. Land on that knee. You might need to pat it up so you can double up your mat. You could grab a blanket and then make sure that your legs are hips distance apart. And we're going to get into this hip flexor stretcher here. Melt that left hip down. Great place to have blocks, especially if you're really tight. So this just serves to bring the floor a little bit closer. And they have these handy dandy heights here. So you can modify that. And my inclination is always to back out a little bit if it's super, super intense. The idea is not to suffer here. The idea is to build some flexibility, and that can take a lot of time. And we need to be very careful and wise about how we approach that. So less is more. All right, let's start to pull back into our half split. So again, if you're really tight, you're gonna have your blocks back really far. You might have a little bend in your knee. You kind of might relax that foot. The rest of us are gonna point those toes up towards the ceiling. We're all gonna drive our right hip back, left hip forward. For those of us with a little more flexibility here, you can find a forward fold. Resist the urge to round in. Keep that openness across your heart and chest. So little back bend here. Good, nice work. Keep breathing, smile. It's only yoga. All right, we're gonna rock forward here. Plant your palms. And then I want you to keep your hips this low as you curl. Left toes under, gaze forward. Just see if you can sneak that right foot back to meet your left foot in your plank pose. Exhale, shift forward. As you exhale, lower halfway, hover, and then onto your mat. So that's a distinct pose. Inhale, low cobra. Hold here. If you're ready to try an up dog, drag hands back. So wrists underneath your elbows. Same actions, elbows squeeze in. Inhale, press into the tops of your feet. Shins, knees, thighs are lifting up off the mat. Gaze just slightly forward in front of you. Roll over your toes from your upward dog. Make your way back to your downward dog if you're in your low cobra. Good work. And then as you inhale, you're gonna lift that left leg up. As you exhale, step that foot through. Land on the right knee. So again, heel toe left foot off to the left so that you're on train tracks as opposed to balance beam. Slide that right knee back as far as feels good. So if you're a little tighter, that's not going to be happening so much. And then again, use your blocks here. So to kind of like as a little gas pedal, you can do a little more, a little less. And then you're observing how this side feels different in your body. Does it feel different in your body? Doing your best to keep that breath moving. So these intense little long held stretches where we're getting into these really big muscle groups. It's tempting to clench the face, the jaw. Soften there, smile a little bit. We start to pull back into our Ardha Hanumanasana, so our half splits. If you're a little more flexible, you're really flexing those toes, pointing them up towards the ceiling. We're all driving our left hip back, right hip forward, and then squeezing into the center. Blocks can be pretty far back. You might even need like double blocks here. That's okay. You're doing it right. If you have a little more, walk your hands forward any amount. So find a little forward fold, but keep that openness, that cobra feeling in your heart and chest. Nice work. Good. Okay, so let's rock forward. Plant your palms. Curl your right toes under. We're going to step our right foot to meet our left foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press down into your feet. Stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhaling, reaching. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Good, inhale, chest lengthens, left foot stays forward. Step that right knee way back. Good, this time we just rise up into our crescent pose. Good, feel the outer hip squeeze in. Let's bring our left hand to our right wrist. And then as you exhale, start to lean off to the left. Maybe looking up underneath that top arm. So feeling that nice side stretch. Good, inhale up to center. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. Curl your right toes under. Gaze forward, hips low. Step to your plank pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, shift forward. You could be on your knees here. Lower halfway. You can hover here or come all the way down. Inhale into your back bend, low cobra or upward facing dog. As you exhale, roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. As you exhale, step that foot through, land on your left knee. Good, inhale, rise up. Low crescent pose, and then right fingertips come to left wrist, pull up. Exhale, squeeze out our hips in, fire up those glutes, especially that right one, as you lean off to the right. Breath smooth and steady. Starting to feel some heat here. Inhale, reach. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Curl left toes under. You're going to step that left foot to meet the right foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in. Good, inhale, press down into your feet. Stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Close your eyes, take a breath or two here. Let everything slow down. Just notice how you're feeling differently. So it doesn't take much. We start to shift how we're feeling energetically, how we're feeling physically. All right, so we're going to start to add on here. So again, just having your blocks near the top of the mat. All right. Inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Bend your knees, plant your palms, keep looking forward, right foot way back, then your left foot. So here we are in our plank pose. Good, shift forward on your toes. Exhale, lower halfway hover or all the way down. Inhale into your low cobra or your upward facing dog. As you exhale, pull back to your downward facing dog. We're gonna inhale, lift our right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through. So feet hips distance apart. Take a little bend in that back knee. It's gonna help you to direct your tailbone down as you inhale. Rise on up. Good. So exhale, bend a little more. Inhale, press both legs to straight. Good. Exhale, sink in. Inhale, press legs to straight. One more. Exhale, sink in. Stay here. Maybe press that back leg to straight. Maybe not. Maybe keep the bend in the knee. And then we're going to transition into our warrior two. So you're going to heel toe your right foot to the left twice. You're going to spin into the back edge of that left foot. So your right heel is intersecting your left arch. So hip opener, this front leg. This left leg is neutral, releasing down. Arms reach out. Notice if you're leaning forward or back or twisting. So torso is facing towards the long edge of the mat. Bring your gaze out over your right fingertips. Smile. Sink into the legs. Spin your right palm to face up. Inhale, legs stay exactly the same. Reach left arm gently down that back leg, right arm up and over. As we exhale, legs stay the same. Hinge forward at that right waist, right elbow to thigh. Top arm up and over. Couple more. Woo, I just got a big hip pop. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extended side angle. This time we're gonna inhale, come back to our Virabhadrasana 2. You can feel that burn in the inner right thigh. Love it. Exhale, windmill arms up and over. Come onto those left toes. Your choice here. If you're getting cooked, you step back to downward facing dog. Otherwise, find your plank pose. Lower through your version of this Chaturanga Vinyasa. You can mix and match. That's legal. Exhale, pull back. Downward facing dog. All right, second side. So as you inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, belly helps step that foot through. Make sure you're not on a tightrope. Bend that right knee. Inhale, rise up. Crescent pose. So both hips are facing forward. This is different than our warrior two. Good. As you exhale, bend a little deeper. Inhale, both legs straighten. Feel those outer hips squeeze in to help you find that. Exhale, sink in. Good. Inhale, press to straight. Lower belly is pulling in and up. Exhale, sink in. And then maybe inhale, straighten that back leg. Nice work. We're going to heel toe our left foot off to the right twice. Open up that back leg. Your left heel is intersecting your right arch. You're pressing left thigh back, but right hip is releasing down. But then you're squaring your torso to the long edge of your mat. Gaze soft and gentle out over your left fingers. Good. And then we keep our legs exactly like this. It's only the upper body that's changing. Left palm faces up. Inhale. Side bend. We've been here. Good. Exhale. Elbow to knee. Wrap those left ribs up. Lengthen through the right side. Inhale. Reverse your warrior. Good. Exhale. This time, inhale. Come up to your Virabhadrasana 2. And then as you exhale, palms plant on either side of that left foot. Spin onto your right toes. Again, options. Step back to downward dog. If you want one final Chaturanga, because you just can't help yourself, by all means, go for it. And when we pull back to our downward facing dog, we're all going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha, so feeling a lot of heat. Let's take that heat into some back bends here. So we're going to come onto our back. You can hop through, cross your ankles, sit back, however you want to get there. All right, so landing on your back, knees are going to be bent, ankles underneath your knees is a good place to be. So a lot of times we pull the heels in close to the buttocks. That can put a lot of pressure on the knees for most of us when we come up. So give yourself a little space. And then the other important thing here is to just keep your gaze straight up at the ceiling. So resist the urge to look at your screen, just listen instead. So we just want to keep the back of the neck nice and long, arms by your side. All right, take an inhale and notice how there's this natural curve in your lumbar spine. As you exhale, breathe down into that space, start to extend your tailbone forward. You lose that curve so much so that you press into your feet and keep extending tailbone forward as your hips lift. Take an inhale here. Exhale, release down. Good, inhale, just notice that natural curve in your lumbar spine. Exhale, breathe down into that space, fill it up. Press into your feet, lift hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower down. One more like that, and then we're gonna hold. So inhale. Exhale, down into that tailbone. It starts to direct forward. You press into your feet, lift your hips up. And then a couple of options here. So depending upon how tight you are in your shoulders, if that's you, you're gonna grab the outer edges of your mat, walk your hands closer to your heels, snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you. So it feels like your shoulders are feet that are pressing down into the mat as well. A few of us might interlace our fingers underneath us, kind of dragging the knuckles towards the heels. It's that feeling that we had in that Shalabhasana pose when we were on our belly. The tendency is to turn the toes out here or to start to roll to the outer edges of the feet so the knees fall out. So think Tadasana feet, mountain pose feet, pressing evenly, inner thighs spiral down. Good, one more deep inhale. Exhale, release. Take a couple of breaths here. And we're gonna come into one more of these. All right, so again, arms by your side, find your feet. As you inhale, press on up. And let's bend our elbows this time. So fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. Root into that upper arm. Snuggle the shoulders under. So these are our robot arms. And as you press down in to those upper arms, maybe you can find a little more lift. It feels like your chest is expanding towards your chin, especially on that inhale. Keep inner thighs releasing down. Keep pressing a little bit to the inner edges of your feet. Good, deep inhale. As you exhale, release down. So we're gonna release out the back, heel toe your feet out wide as your mat. Take your arms in a T shape, and then just start to windshield wiper your legs. The knees fall to the right, and then off to the left. Just do that a couple more times to each side. And then come back to center here, heel toe your feet, back to hip distance apart. So it's that bridge pose setup. We're gonna take our right ankle, cross it above our left knee, flex that foot a lot, and then just stay here. So you should already be feeling a nice little hip stretch. You might be getting into the glute. You can take your right hand, press it into that thigh. So it's like you're drawing that knee forward in space. If this is a good place in your body, if you're feeling some sensations, stay here. Otherwise, if you feel like you have a little further to go, bend your left knee into your chest. You're gonna take your right hand through that triangle you've made, interlacing fingers around your thigh or your shin. And if you still need a little more here, wedge that right elbow into that thigh, press forward. So it's kind of like this little counterbalance. It feels really nice for some of us. And a few good breaths here. Find that breath again. At this stage of the game, it's fine if you've let go of your Ujjayi breath, but you're still inhaling and exhaling through your nose, kind of lengthening the breath out. Good, one more deep inhale. As you exhale, release down, uncross that ankle. And then we take that second side. So left ankle crosses above that right knee, flex the foot. This engages the muscles around the knee to protect that joint. How is this side different? Maybe gently press that left thigh with your hand. and make the choice. Stay here. Enough is enough. Less is more. If you do need a little more stretch, start to bend your right knee into your chest. Reach your left hand through that triangle, interlacing fingers either around that thigh or that shin. And then maybe wedging your left elbow into the thigh, just drawing forward a little bit, trying to create a little more space in the lower left waist. Couple more breaths. This is intense. These hip stretches are very uncomfortable for most of us. So know that that's normal. Back out a little bit if you need to. Sometimes we press harder than we should. Make sure you're not like creating tension in your face, your jaw, so softening there. Good deep inhale. As you exhale, release. All right, so we're gonna come into a little happy baby. It might be modified. So kind of externally rotate the legs. If you're tighter, you're just gonna gently pull down on your thighs. Again, you're kind of losing the curve in your lumbar. So you're directing your tailbone forward. Some of us might be able to bring our hands to the outer edges of our feet so elbows come to the inside, and then you can just pull down a little bit, which can feel really, really nice. And easy for me to say, if you are newer to yoga, this doesn't feel really, really nice. It does eventually though, so I encourage you to stick with it. Practice makes easier. We'll call that my Yoda-ism for this class. I think Yoda would have done better. All right, so let's find a little like modified Paschimottanasana. So we're gonna extend legs to straight. Again, if you're tight, just gonna pull in any amount. So grabbing the thighs. Few of us might grab the big toes and then pull in. So it's like a laying down, deep forward fold. Keep spiraling the inner thighs forward. Good, and then from here, we're gonna make our way in to our Shavasana. So particularly if you tend to have sensation in your lower back when you lay down flat, little blanket underneath the knees can be nice. Sometimes a blanket under the head can feel good too. If you don't have props and you're feeling tension in the lumbar, go ahead and bend the knees. Take your feet as wide as your mat and just allow the knees to knock in towards each other. Good, and then your arms come out a little wider than shoulders distance apart. You can kind of snuggle them under so it's a little bit of that bridge pose feeling. Pressing to the back of the center of the head, the eyes are closed. Take a nice deep inhale here. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And then just give yourself a moment or two here. Give yourself permission to be here, to be quiet, to be still, to soak up all of the hard work that you've done. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Take a deeper inhale. Let the breath go. And just begin to bring your awareness back to your body. Bring some gentle movement to your body. Wiggle fingers, stretch, wiggle toes. Maybe reach your arms up overhead. Good, and then staying soft and quiet. So eyes are closed, your gaze is inward. You can roll to one side or the other. Just pause in the fetal position. And then from here, you'll use your hands to help you press up to a comfortable seat. So ending as we started in this nice cross-legged position. But notice how it feels different. So hopefully it feels like there's a greater sense of ease in your body. You're sitting with a little more strength and height and length. Notice how your breath has shifted. So hopefully it's steadier, a little richer. And as a result of body and breath working together, how has your headspace changed? So hopefully it's feeling a little quieter, calmer. There might even be this sense of joy. So soak that up. You made it happen. Send yourself love and gratitude for showing up, for working hard. And just promise yourself that you're going to carry this feeling with you into the rest of the day ahead. Bring your palms together at your heart and just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today. Thank you. Check out my other videos on YouTube. I take special requests. So if there is something that you would like to see, shoot me an email, Jana@janabozemanyoga.com, and we shall see you soon. May the flow be with you.